We are unmuted and live on the YouTubes. Sure enough, it says Derek Riley's private course.
Well, yeah, that's what we'll call it.
All right.
It's better than New Place.
New Place, that's true.
I know, he's lived there for like 20 years.
All right, so we are setting things
really
up for the Disc Golf Answer Man podcast. We got people on there, Robert. We got people joining us on the
86
YouTubes.
people.
Hey, 86 people. All right. So, Anthony, you already did the sound check, so we should be good to go there. How's everybody doing in YouTube land?
Lucha Cabra said a few weeks ago I went disc golfing for the first time and got an ace.
Nice.
I did know how to throw a disc for anyone guessing. Sick ace, man.
Sick ace.
I took a guy from our church who used to play Ultimate out to Hammond, and he had like one of those My First Disc truths. And he
nice.
aced hole 2. And we're just like, well, that's cool.
I witnessed someone's first ace this weekend.
Oh, dope.
Oh, at the stadium, yeah.
Yeah, Bobby witnessed it too. He just didn't witness it through the camera.
Which one was it?
The one that bounced off the wall and went in.
Oh, that's right.
And
Nice.
you just turned around and started walking away like,
Oh, tight.
You know why?
it?
Because I had a camera in my hand.
yes, he did.
Oh,
I was waiting to film Eric's throw,
Yeah.
which was, and then this guy threw it right before Eric.
Yep.
hey, consider this. Maybe do your job while you're at the event and video things.
I just literally cannot throw.
I'm only
cannot.
joking.
Anthony
I
got a
know,
fantastic reaction shot though of it on the other camera.
Oh, the guy? You did?
The guy, the reaction of the ace. Yeah.
You did?
That's awesome.
Oh, nice. So we'll just put that in the text.
Yeah.
This is a reaction to an amazing shot,
Here's his first ace.
of which we did not capture.
Lucha Cabra says, I was looking to get an EMAC Truth. What plastic should I get?
Definitely.
All of them?
Well, yeah, all of them for sure. But I would. My personal favorite's Lucid.
Yep. That's the ones I throw as well. Am I romantic? $5 super chat out of the gate. What's up?
What's up? I met him at the stadium.
Yeah,
It
he
was
said,
so great meeting you.
He said, thanks for signing my shirt for my wife and I, Bobby and Eric.
Yeah.
Need Robert and Big Flicks to sign it to have the whole crew. Sorry, Anthony.
So
Awesome playing with y'all.
First of all, I did sign a guy's
Yeah, that's because he already signed it.
Maybe
yes.
he meant to put your name. Anyway, Doc Zen said, here's $2 super chat. He said for a can of Dr. Pepper for Lil Warden McCall. We did decide on the name. It's
It's
Warden.
Warden.
Yeah, little Lil Warden McCall. Lil Warden.
Lil.
He is destined for a life in hip hop music.
Nice.
Little.
Just by the name.
That's how Lil Uzi Vert. That's his given name.
Lil what?
Uzi Vert. Yeah, I mean he's a rapper.
Right. No, I thought he was a seamstress with the name Lil.
I'm telling
Uzi.
you, it's his given name. Okay, so okay.
All right, so we got to play some disc golf out
Sure
at the
did.
Heritage Park in
Flower
somewhere,
Mound, right?
Texas, Flower Mound, Texas.
Flower.
I've never gotten to play there.
It's fun.
I want to.
It's a nice park.
And
It's a nice park.
my parents came and watched.
Yeah, that was
actually.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
So we had a
dope.
little gallery.
Yeah, we had a huge gallery.
Right. Of course, what we're talking about, we drove to Texas to do the AT&T Stadium, and about, what, it was an hour and a half, 2 hours into the drive, I realized I forgot my discs.
Yeah.
Wow,
Isn't that cool?
real cool, man.
And then it was at the hotel I realized I'd forgotten my shaving cream, my toothbrush.
Man.
So I had to go to CVS and, yes,
Have you ever traveled before?
never, my first time. Yes, it was one of those, I don't know what it is. I guess I think I'm
It's
just.
been a while.
It'd been a while, and hey, copyright.
Yeah, sorry.
I used to stage everything out in my living room floor. So I'd be like, oh, there's this, and for some reason I thought, I got this. I don't need to stage everything.
It's only 3 days.
Right? Should have staged everything.
Yeah, definitely should have.
Anyway, the Heritage Park is an Eric
Iridescent.
McCabe design.
I was
course.
like, wait. I don't think that's right.
Eric McCabe design course, and so it was cool to be able to play a course that. Eric
And I'll tell you
designed.
what, it was hot.
Toasty.
I mean, when I think we started around at 8 o'clock, probably 8 a.m.
think it was around that time.
I think we met about 7:30. But by the end of that round, it was a scorcher. I think it got up to 106 that day in Dallas.
Hey, yo.
Get
It was
that
warm.
Dude, good thing the event was inside.
Oh man, no kidding.
Even then, it was a little warm inside.
Yeah, the masks I think made it seem a
Oh,
little
yeah.
warmer, and
But I mean-
we're always on the move when we're doing that.
Yeah, we're always moving around. So, all right. So I think we're good. We're gonna settle in and get the show started.
Hey, let's get the show started.
Let's get this show started. Are you ready, Anthony?
Just trying to change things. Shocker.
Cool, man. Mr. Drew said Robert obviously hasn't told his wife their child's name will be Lil Warden because his glasses aren't broken and neither eye is black. Hey, she got some pregnancy strength right now, man. She get you.
You're good, Bobby.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby CoolDaddySlickBreeze. I have with me Eric McCabe and Robert McCall, and we are here to answer your disc golf questions.
So
No.
Nice.
No, okay, that was my own little intro music. Me and Eric are back from Arlington, Texas, as well as Anthony. Sorry about that. Yeah, Anthony's here. We had come back. We had gone to AT&T Stadium, the disc golf experience at AT&T Stadium, where we take discs and we throw them in a football stadium. We had over 500 people come in and out, not all at the same time. Everybody had different tee times and things like that, but we had a grand old time. Of course, practicing social distancing and wearing our masks all the time. But even with all these things in place, I believe overall everybody had a fantastic time. And it just turned into just a fun time in a stadium.
those events are always fun.
They're always fun.
They're always so much. They're long for us.
Yeah,
I think we were there for 15
I believe so.
15 hours or something like that. So it was a long day. But man, it had been a few years since we'd been down to AT&T, so it was great to be back, and it's always one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah, and there's just something about the AT&T Stadium. They spare no expense when it comes
That's
to.
true.
I get after it.
There's some of the floors they literally look like nightclubs. Like you'd go like I'm going out on the town, going to go to a nightclub, and then there's this little football game happening over here in this humongous 80,000 seat stadium. So, but yeah, all good. And then before that, we got to visit one of Eric McCabe, an Eric McCabe designed course, the Heritage Park in Flower Mound, Texas. Got to play and enjoy that course. How would you describe that course, Eric, if someone were to ask?
It's not super long by any means, but there's a couple legit par fours on the course. I would explain it as tight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really tight holes. And the more I play it, the more the trees are actually growing, and that over-the-top shot's really not there as much as it used to be. Now, obviously, with any course, there's a few tweaks that may have happened between design process and the install. So there's a couple things that we're still tweaking on, trying to get through. But for the most part, I think it's a really fun course.
Should we tell them about the one disc that you inadvertently?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a free frisbee out there
Right.
somewhere. I believe it was on hole number 10. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can find that, what do you remember? What?
It was a Chameleon Raider.
Oh yeah,
It was
so
a good
nice one.
It was a good one.
So it's yours if you find
Yep.
it.
Yep.
So yeah, we had a good time out there playing that, and then of course we had our Torchy Tacos visit.
We kind of did.
Twice.
Well, you guys had it the night we drove in.
Right.
And I'd stayed at my parents' house. But then we actually did eat Fuzzy's tacos.
This is true. I
On
wanted Anthony.
Friday.
I wanted Anthony to try Fuzzy's Tacos.
Oh yeah, for like
As
a
like
kind
a
of like an
comparison.
unbiased comparison.
Right,
Yeah.
and he will never go back to Fuzzy's again. Not true. He said it was. He said it was pretty good. It was all right.
It was all right.
I'm not allowed.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. For the people that say, okay, Torches is good, but have you ever tried Fuzzies? Like, yes, I've tried Fuzzies. Like, they're good tacos. They're just not as good as Torches for me.
And
The queso is definitely.
whoever
not-
said
Oh,
the
not even
queso
close.
was
Oh my
better
gosh.
is I'm sorry, you're not right.
Yeah,
So-
you aren't allowed to judge anything regarding food anymore.
At least tacos.
Yeah. You can do other stuff, maybe.
Maybe. All right. So there's our tacos update. What do you say? Or did you do anything, Robert, over the weekend, or did you just kind of stay in the house, hermit, while we?
Oh, I played a
had fun?
pickleball tournament.
Oh, that's right. How did that go?
Yeah, we got third.
Nice.
I played with a friend of mine here in town, Alice, and it was in Hutchinson, so it was about an hour 45 away from here. We got there at 7:45 for our first game at 8 o'clock.
Is this AM?
Yes.
Okay.
They played They had a men's division, women's division, and a mixed division. And they kind of ran all of them at the same time. And if you're tracking with me, you might understand why that might be a problem. Because if there are men's only teams and women's only teams playing at the same time, all it takes is one person from a team that has to be playing on the mixed side to understand that it would hold up the mixed portion of the tournament. Because men's teams would be playing, women's teams would be playing. So we played one game at 8 o'clock, one game at 8:45, and didn't touch a ball again for 5 hours because of how poorly the tournament was organized. And the guy who was there, he seemed like a nice guy. It seemed like he didn't really organize it, but he also didn't have any, what would you say? Enthusiasm about trying to make it better or even trying to optimize it. It was just, here we go.
Here it is.
Yeah. Good luck. There were 3 courts set up, and for the first couple of games, all 3 were being used. And then for the next 4-ish of those hours, only one game was playing on one court at one time because it was grabbing people from different. It was just poorly organized.
Yeah.
There was much frustration within me.
Much frustration.
Mm-hmm. But
did you Johnny McEnroe your palate?
Yelled at the referee. No, but we had fun.
Jump over the net.
Alice played super well. I tried to play too fast, so I got us in a little bit of trouble here and there.
Yeah.
But we had fun.
Good on you. Cool. I missed pickleball on Sunday, and I will miss it again tonight. I'm a little annoyed, but it is what it is.
Whatever, dude.
So if you follow Chris Dickerson or Zach Melton, you'll know that they've been playing pickleball as well. Also, Tina, I've been talking to Tina. She's picking up pickleball.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we could do like a GBO pickleball little tournament.
Oh, definitely.
But maybe not during the week with all the other, but like if you come early enough, we could do like a little pickleball tournament. That'd be kind of cool.
When Dickerson was in town, Zach Melton was going to be here for Dynamic Discs Open, but ended up not traveling for it, right? And Dickerson said he wanted to play singles just so he could go back and tell Zach, because Zach wanted to know if he could hang with me and you and Dixon and those people. So I played singles with Chris, and we were a little bit back and forth, and then I just kind of took off. And he was like, yeah, I think you beat Zach. I was like, I know. I would for sure beat Zach. He's just too scared to show up and take his beating like a man.
I would beat Zach.
He's not bad.
Oh, come on. Let's go, Zach.
Come on in town.
Let's go, Zach.
Come on in town.
All right, let's get to some disc golf on the Disc Golf Answer Man. Guys, as always, you can send your disc golf questions into the discgolfanswerman.com website, and we will try to get them on there. We have a few speak pipe, so that is working. So make sure you send those if you'd like, because we like hearing your voice. First question comes from, I had it up, I promise. Nope, we answered that already. This one is from Jason. All right, guys, I need some answers. I switched over to Trilogy in October, and I haven't looked back. Honestly, I couldn't be happier. The Saint, EMAC, and Warden are my workhorses, and I love them like my children. However, I've been lucky enough to get a few rounds in with the local pro, and I couldn't help but notice when he pulled out an EMAC of his own. It was a baby blue lava.
Ayo.
I think you know where this is going. I need answers, he says. What's up with the lava plastic, Eric?
Well, the lava plastic is a plastic that was a limited run at the 20... What year would that have been? 14?
When you ran lava?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was more recently than that.
Was it?
I was here when you ran it, so
Okay.
it had to have been
Okay.
18-ish somewhere.
Okay,
in there.
I've done it twice.
Oh, okay. Then maybe
Back-to-back years. I think I did it for GBO, and then I did it for maybe Junior Worlds the following year.
But I was definitely here.
Okay.
So
So
anyway.
yeah, it was like 2017,
There
2018,
you go,
something
yeah.
like that. It was very limited, and its lava is very similar to fluid. If you're not familiar with fluid, it's the more flexible plastic, kind of the polar opposite, I would say, of Lucid X.
Right.
So it was just a very limited run. Latitude happened to have some of it, and we were able to run some Emacs with it as my GBO disc, and I sold them as fundraisers, and that's kind of how it goes.
They're
the story
awesome.
goes. I mean, they're very stable. They're probably the most overstable run of EMAC out of the box, at least.
Consistently,
I
I agree.
would say. But
Rising
yeah,
M
they
says 2017 GBO.
okay, perfect. Yeah, and they don't have any more of that plastic. Like I don't think there's any. I don't think we plan to run any more fluid or lava or that type of a plastic in the future.
Yeah.
True.
Next one comes from, he put confused.
Oh.
I have seen Double G throw a Sonic, which is a -4 turn understable putter, straight and even on a hyzer, and it holds that line the whole way, even though it is very slow and a very understable disc. I have a Birdie putter with the same flight ratings except a 0 turn, whereas Sonic has a -4 turn. My putter holds a very straight line. I would think his Sonic would turn a lot. How he do that?
Well,
A lot of touch.
first of all, the Sonic and Birdie are different discs. Though they have similar flight numbers, they're designed quite a bit differently. It's like if you were throwing a bite from us compared to I don't know what
A caltrop.
Yeah, something like that. A much more understable caltrop. Yeah. Just because discs have similar flight numbers doesn't mean they're going to do the same thing. Now, the way that Double G gets his Sonic to go super straight is exactly what Eric said. His touch is fantastic. It has next to no wobble when it comes out, and he's just got, his wrist is so, refined from having thrown it so many times that he's got that dialed in where he's not going to wobble it. He's just going to give it a true run at the basket and know he's not going to fly by too far. So that's how he does that.
A great way to work
Years
on
and years
that,
of
though,
practice.
is if you have a Sonic or a Bite, as you mentioned, which is PDJ approved, is go out in the field and just play catch with that disc. It's like one of the two perfect discs in the lineups, I guess you would say, that is just made for playing catch with.
Yep.
And it really helps on upshots and touch and really focusing in on consistency.
100%. I like the Beetle for that.
Beetle's good too.
They're all they're
like
all
the-
good for that.
I like the Bite just because I throw the Bite like daily in the backyard to the dog.
With the doggos.
So
That's fair.
yeah, I like that a little more.
I
But
like to
makes
do that
sense.
with a tortilla.
Why?
It's just nice understable.
Dude,
It is.
if you knew
And you
anything,
can eat it
okay,
afterwards.
first of all, if you actually threw a tortilla, you'd know they are extremely overstable.
This is true.
So
Willet
I'm
Heiser?
calling you out. You don't actually
Didn't
do
we
that.
do that?
Yeah,
on
we did.
Willet Heiser?
Willet Heiser. It's very
Did we
overstable.
do it on the tortillas?
Yes, the very first one.
Yeah, I think we did. And then we got yelled at because we were throwing food.
Or pancakes.
This is true.
But we ate them. Remember at the end of the video?
Anthony ate them.
Oh, that's right. Anthony ate them on the.
Hey.
All right, next one comes from Thomas. I cannot for the life of me throw a forehand. Growing up playing Ultimate, it was the same, and I only ever knew how to throw a backhand. A few weeks ago, a friend introduced me to the sport in Trilogy discs, and I was hooked. I want to be able to use a forehand, but I have no idea how to grip the disc. Any suggestions?
Sure, man. So when you're
Don't do it.
just give up.
Yeah, just give up.
No, don't give up. Just don't. Forehands. Who needs them?
When you're learning to throw a forehand, I think one of the common misconceptions is that you put the pads of your finger up against the underside of the flight plate. And some people can do that and it works well for them, but it kind of promotes this motion where when you snap the disc, you're kind of rolling your wrist over. And that's kind of the killer of forehands, is rolling your wrist. So ideally, you'd like to take the pads of your fingers and put them kind of turned toward the inside of the rim of the disc that you're holding. Usually I do both fingers underneath, both my index and middle finger underneath the rim of the disc, both pointed toward the rim, and kind of think about my motion as just kind of like if a flag is waving in the wind, that's what I want my motion to be like. Or if I'm slapping somebody in the face, not really slapping down or anything, just side to side. That's how I learned to throw a forehand, and it's helped me a lot.
There's also some great tutorial videos
Yeah.
that you can go out and look at. I know Danny's done a couple of them, but definitely go out there and look for them. It'll definitely talk about grip. That's probably one of the basics of the forehand. Something to learn first.
Yeah, for sure.
This one's from Derek on calling courtesy violations. Here we go. In my last tournament, we were put on a 3-person card.
Okay.
One of my card mates got frustrated on a hole after caging a 10-footer. When it came time for us to tap in, he went first. As he was pulling his disc out of the basket, I went to tap in, and right as my putter was on the tip of my finger, he took his disc while facing away from me and slapped all the change away from my putter. Luckily, my disc still went in, but I told him he needed to stop and calm down. I did not call him on a courtesy violation because we had a fairly new player on our card, and I was under the impression that courtesy violations must be seconded. Am I right? How should someone like this be handled on a small card? Thanks for your answers and keep it real.
First of all, you should have given him a courtesy violation. That's That's super rude. And like that's the definition of what should be called for a courtesy violation. So here are the official rules of disc golf. This is Rule 812 about courtesy. It says a player must not throw if the throw might injure someone or distract another player, throw out of order without consent or when it would impact another player, engage in distracting or unsportsmanlike actions such as shouting, cursing, striking, kicking, throwing, park, course, or player equipment, moving or talking while another player is throwing, advancing beyond the away player, or, a bunch of other stuff. So, having that said, it says a player receives a warning for the first violation of any courtesy rule. Each subsequent violation of any courtesy rule by that player in the same round incurs one penalty throw. A courtesy violation may be called or confirmed by any affected player or by an official. Repeated courtesy violations may result in disqualification by the director. So you can give a courtesy violation by yourself, no second needed. You can give
a courtesy warning.
A courtesy warning, yeah. Yes, there you go.
So it's not a violation until someone seconds
Technically, I believe if it's a violation and strokes are involved, it has to be seconded.
So each of you receive a warning for your first violation.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah.
But for every violation after that, that's when strokes are involved.
Yeah. If it's the first offense, then you basically you want to say, "Hey, that's a courtesy warning." That's your warning.
I would
what
say,
I would tell them.
yes. I would say that's a courtesy violation. For that you get a warning. But I mean, it's semantics.
Yeah. However you want to say it.
Yes, but after the first one of those, if that action continues, or even a different action that's on that list, then strokes are involved. So you do not have to have a second to call that. You can just say that's a courtesy violation and a warning.
And I would say just because there's a new player on the card, that doesn't mean you shouldn't play by the rules.
In fact, that's even more reason to play by the rules.
Exactly.
I'm going to go even further into semantics. Are you ready?
You love semantics, don't you?
Are you ready? And again, Derek, I'm not picking on you at all. I'm just basing it off the way you worded it. And this is kind of just for like playing the devil's advocate or just to kind of discuss it. As he wrote it out, when the time came for us to tap in, he went first. As he was pulling his disc out of the basket, I went to tap in. Is any of that responsibility on Derek where he should have waited till he pulled the disc out before even attempting to tap in?
I guess you should have. I mean, if somebody
depends on how close it is.
Right. If somebody takes their disc,
right.
If somebody takes their disc out, turns away, and then turns and it hits all the chains, like what can you really do? I don't know what this situation was.
Right as my putter was on the tip of my finger, he took his disc while facing away from me and slapped all the chains away from my putter. You could almost again, Derek, we weren't there. I'm going based off how you worded it. And yes, I know that in the middle of people tapping in and picking up discs, it's just those split-second things. But if you would have said something, could the guy have said, well, I didn't see you tapping in because I was grabbing my discs?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Because the aggression, the frustration and action of
what he said is that he took the disc out of the basket and slapped the change while not looking at the guy, which means he couldn't have been facing the basket.
Which also means he had already cleared his putter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes,
as soon as that putter's gone, I'm open to go.
Yeah.
All right. I was just curious. Again, I'm not picking. I just thought it was interesting the way you worded it. To argue. I guess I'm in hot takes mode. Okay, let me get out of it.
It's okay.
This one's from Jake. Hey, Disc Golf Answer fam. I love you guys in the podcast. I've been bagging the Fluid Escape as my go-to fairway driver for a few years. I picked up a nice stack of first runs when they came out. I have one left from that stack.
Oh, no.
I usually keep two in the bag. One of them is super beat in and a fresher one that's more stable. I find that the fluid ones are far more stable than any others I've found. It's almost like a moonshine, just never beats in. I don't want to chase them on the secondary market. I found a pop-top Lucid, and it's about as stable as my beat-in fluid. So, should I just switch to a new mold? Maybe something slightly more stable?
Probably.
So what do you suggest?
Yeah, if you rewind and heard that we won't be producing that plastic anymore, it's definitely a good idea. Even if you're looking for more stable, I know the Lucid X Escapes are a little more easy to come by as they were TFR molds. You could possibly find some more of those. Or if you're just looking to kind of go in that next stability, I'd recommend something like Explorer or Getaway. Either one of those is going to be kind of that next step up in stability.
Mm-hmm. Anytime you see a Lucid X Escape, I like that one.
Nice. All right, well, we have something super exciting happening next week, guys. We finally have a date for the CBS Sports Network broadcast of the Dynamic Discs Open and the High Stakes Match. What's the official name of that?
High Stakes Skins Match.
High Stakes Skins Match. If you don't know what we're talking about a month or so ago, we had the Dynamic Discs Open, which was kind of a reopening or restart of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. They came here to play the Emporia Country Club. When I say they, I mean Disc Golf Pro Tour crew came, and a lot of the top players came out to play. Had a really good time. It was weird because it was kind of like getting it back into the mode of tournament play and things like that, but it was exciting as well to be able to see a bunch of people. But the other big exciting thing was that we had commissioned Joe Mez to come out and film these for the purpose of putting them on CBS Sports Network. And we believe this is prime time with everybody getting into disc golf and new people getting into disc golf. This is the great time to kind of take advantage of these new viewers and new eyes. So the dates are round 1 will broadcast August 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Round 2, August 27th, 7 p.m. Eastern.
That's Wednesday and Thursday are the dates you just said.
Final round is Friday, August 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then the skins match will be Saturday, August 29th, 7 p.m. Eastern. The way you can watch the CBS Sports Network is it is available through all major cable, satellite, and telecom, or telco, I guess is the official name, telco distributors, as well as via OTT streaming providers such as YouTube TV, Fubo TV, DirecTV, and Hulu.
Hulu?
Makes me think of, what was the
Why did you
show? I can't think of it. Silicon Valley, they had a thing called Julio.
Oh.
That was their making fun of Google.
Nice.
Anyway, additionally, a live sports network stream is available through CBSSports.com and the CBS Sports app with select providers. So there are multitudes of ways to be able to watch this. Now, we're going to keep it real. We're about to keep it real. This is not your normal tournament coverage.
Yeah.
The audience is designed... This was designed for the audience of the people who don't watch disc golf at all or just discovered disc golf and have just seen a few baskets or just bought a disc or two. So it's going to be a condensed version of tournament coverage.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and for another reason, too, if we're doing one round in 44 minutes, you would have to just go, if we were actually doing full round coverage of front nine and back nine, it would just have to be shot.
Right,
and there would be...
Shot.
That's exactly right. There would be no space for developing characters, talking about the play, talking about the event, things like that. And so this is going to be more condensed. And if you're going in expecting shot-by-shot coverage, that's not what you're going to find.
Now, we have been teased, and me and Eric and Robert have been able to watch what's going to be pushed out there, and I'm telling you guys, it looks slick. Ooh. It looks so nice. So we're super excited. Now, another cool thing about it is we're going to do what's called a companion stream, and that's where we're going to be in the studios. A few of us, depending on the night, will be in the studio, and we're going to be watching the stream when it happens live. And then we'll be going live of us watching it. And that way, as you're watching it and we're watching it, we can kind of chat about it in the YouTube chat. We will not broadcast the actual footage.
Right.
But we will be watching it alongside with you while
So if you
watch it
have
at
to watch
home.
only one, watch the CBS Sports.
Yes.
Don't
Right.
watch us.
Well,
if
a lot
you
of
have the
people-
opportunity to watch both, then do it.
Right. Well, a lot of people, what they do on these companion streams is they'll watch it on their TV or their computer. Then they'll have their phone in their hand, and they'll chat with the person that they're watching it with. So
Yeah. If you're on a Mac, you can split screen. I do that.
Right. So
that sort of stuff.
So anyway, those are the dates. Follow us on social media because we're blasting a lot of information out just in case you didn't catch all that info on that. But this is something that we're super excited about, and we are very optimistic about this getting into even more eyes and people excited about disc golf growing the sport. All right, back into the questions. This one from Kaysen. I love you guys. Thanks for the show. It's really helpful to improve my game. I'm not sure why I'm adding all these.
I was waiting for a
accents
but.
in.
I love you guys, but.
I've been throwing a beat-in fusion felon and loved it. Then I done messed up and threw it in the water.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Oh no! We need that. We need a soundboard where we can go. Oh no!
Oh, no.
Is there a disc I can get that is similar to a beat-in felon, or do I just buy a felon and throw it into a tree?
A wall.
That'll work too.
I would say a wall.
If you like the feel of the felon, then I would just, get a new one and work it in naturally. If you're just looking for the flight and you don't care if it feels the same or not, a getaway is kind of like a beat-in felon. Kind of. It's a little bit, for me, it's straighter than a felon would be. It doesn't have quite as much fade at the end of the flight as a felon does. But
Yeah, I would also recommend maybe an OptoX Explorer too. One of Emerson's discs.
That'll have a closer feel for sure.
That's gonna have a closer feel and probably closer in stability too to a beat-in felon.
You guys bring up an interesting point when you say feel, because I think that's the thing that we kind of harp on when it comes to flight numbers and things like that, is that there's more to it than just what the flight numbers say.
Sure.
Right.
There's a feel to the disc, the feel of the rim in your hands. Sometimes, something like a trespass feels comfortable in my hand, but for someone else,
so
it might not
good.
feel so comfortable in their hand. They may pick a
Right.
different
That's
kind
not
of disc.
true.
So.
Trespass has to feel good in everybody's
Yeah, it was a
hand.
bad example.
I
because
mean,
trespass is pretty universal disc, but something like a felon,
Yeah.
like you said, it's kind of going to have a little bit of a different rim feeling than some
Right.
other discs. So
Well, it really just depends on what's more important to you. If the felon feels perfect to you, get another one and do that. But if not, if all you're looking for is the flight of a beat-in felon, the getaway is going to be pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Agreed.
oh, here we go. We're going to get into a little bit of Emac and his fishing.
Dang.
Oh,
This one's from Timothy. Like Emac, I go fishing, but my preferred gear is a golden retriever.
Oh.
At a local course, there are a few spots that the combination of drainage and hole design means that I can blindly fish with my golden retriever and consistently pull up lost discs. If I spend the time fishing for the disc, am I still obligated to return marked discs? Morality. I do prefer to be where the discs have no name. I think that's a little YouTube throwback. Where the streets have no name.
That's a YouTube throwback? Is that what you said?
Where the streets have no name?
Well, yeah, I know what the song is.
Well, he says where the discs have no name. Because he put discs in a
but
little
why
bracket.
is it a YouTube throwback?
Because they sang the song.
Okay. Oh, U2.
Oh, we
I
both
thought you said YouTube throwback.
Oh, YouTube. But no,
I was like,
no,
I was like,
YouTube.
Bobby, I hate
have
to
to
burst
do
your bubble.
with YouTube?
Where the streets have no name existed long before YouTube existed. Okay.
No,
yes,
I'm saying
U2 throwback.
U2.
I'm
Yeah,
with
there
you.
we go.
That makes more sense.
Okay. Also, has Emac ever caught a marked fish? Did he return it?
That's
I
a
mean,
good
he's
question.
returned fish all the time.
Oh,
but-
I return them all the time, but I would prefer to return them to my belly.
Yeah,
So-
right.
So let's get into the
Pants
the ethics
Yeah.
of
I choose business
Business
ethics.
ethics.
am I still obligated to return a marked disc?
Yes.
Yes.
100% in my mind, you are.
Yes.
And why is that?
I mean, this has been a debate that's gone on for, well, let's see, how long has disc golf been around?
No
Right.
kidding.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's people that are on the stance of, well, if you wanted your disc, you would have gone in the water and got
Got
it.
it. I've
You know,
heard that,
and in my mind, it's maybe I couldn't at that time, but I plan to come back and look for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. To me, it's somebody's property, I guess. If I lose a disc with my name on it, honestly, probably 80% of the time, I'm going to say, you know what, keep it.
Right. But you'd love to at least have the option to
and,
say that.
And if I do want that disc back, 100% of the time, I'm like, I'll give you a brand new disc for it.
Yeah. Or I'll pay you for
Reward,
it. Whatever
you know?
it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, if there's no name, no mark, nothing, then yeah, sure, that's your disc now. I truly believe that, unless, of course, I mean, there's obviously stipulations where that would change. But for the most part, 100% no name, it's yours. If it has a name and a number, you've got to at least try. I mean, that's, in my mind, I guess that's their property, and you have to make an effort to get that disc back to them.
Yeah.
Or throw
I'm
it
with
back
that.
in.
Or if you're not going to, just toss it back in the water, and then it's fair game. No, I'm with
that's
Eric
where
on
I'm
that
at.
So
one.
let's say that. Let's say let's say you're fishing for your disc,
Mm-hmm.
right? You lost, and you're going out there and you're blindly do it, but you happen to pull up another disc. Is there anything wrong with going, that's not mine, I'm just going to toss it back in?
I think most people I don't think they toss it back in. Yes, I think there's something wrong with that. I think more people just leave it on the bank.
That's what I would
drop
do.
it,
Like,
leave it on
it's,
the bank.
it's you've already done the work for it. Why not just leave it there?
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody
Maybe
sees
that's
it
what he's asking.
if they don't have a name.
Maybe he's not necessarily asking, am I obligated to return it, or can I keep it, or am I obligated to do something with that disc?
Sure. And a lot of courses nowadays will have a pro shop close or a drop box at hole 1 where you can drop that off.
Right. I would say at the very least, like you said, leave it at the bank.
Or leave it
as
at the
like-
next tee.
Yeah.
So somebody will find it.
A lot of times, if they have their phone number, you can
Just text them right
text
then.
them right
and then
then.
hide it on the course. I've had
Right.
people that have said, hey, I hid it underneath the trash can on hole 7.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
So yeah, no matter. I mean, this is getting kind of. I don't know if I want to say spiritual, or whatever. But whatever you believe in, karma, God, the universe is all. I do believe there's something in the works of just being a good person
Yeah.
and trying to return a
Yeah.
disc.
Think about that. Think about the person, too, who lost that disc.
Yeah, what if that was your disc?
Yeah, you're looking for your disc that you lost. If you don't find it and someone comes along in an hour and finds it, do they get to keep it? You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, next one comes from Gabe.
Can I tell a quick story?
Oh yeah. Time's up. Oh, sorry.
That was great.
A guy went scuba diving in Abilene where I started playing disc golf. He found a couple of discs of mine, and he found a whole bunch of used discs and set up in his dorm room and was selling them, right? I mean, for cheap. And some of them said, some of them had names, some of them didn't. But I went in there and saw a couple of my discs. I was like, hey, that one's mine. Can I just have that back? I'll buy this one because it didn't have a name and I just wanted that one. But can I have this one back? He's like, no, man, you got to pay for it. I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. We are friends. This has my name on
Friends
it.
first.
I was hot pissed.
You used the word friends lightly there.
Yeah,
Pretty loosely.
And let's put big air quotes around that at this
Yes,
point for
yes.
sure. I mean, we didn't play hardly.
And you never
ever
talk
after-
to him again.
No, I don't know what he's doing now. But
You should call him.
I was
You
not.
should- you
I was
should-
not pleased at the
He's
time.
probably still trying to
I don't
sell
have his
that
phone
disc
number.
to pay rent.
Yeah. I'm glad that the $6 I gave him for my disc that had my name and phone number on it. We lived in the same dorm. Like, come on, man.
Wow.
Okay, that's it.
All right, next one's from back to Gabe. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Well, we were until Robert told us the story.
Yeah, now everyone's
Now he's mad,
downtrodden.
yeah.
Now we're sad.
I'm playing my first tournament in November, and I'm excited to take my games to the next level competitively. I'm curious if there are any rules, regulations that are more important to know than the others. For example, are there any that could seriously affect me if I don't know them? I suppose all of them are, since you could get a stroke or whatever. Also, are there any unwritten rules or etiquette things that I need to know to avoid looking like a fool or offending someone? I believe we have. With that,
Yeah, there's a beginner's guide for that.
there's a beginner's guide of playing your first tournament. Go look on youtube.com/dynamic discs and do a search for beginner's guide tournament.
To the Galaxy.
And you'll find something that Danny put together that'll give you a lot of good information for your first tournament for sure.
There's one. I mean, I guess it's kind of an obscure one. I knew it, but this happened to Lisa Fakis this weekend at
The bag?
Ledgestone. Yeah, so she was out of bounds and went to look at a place where she wanted to lay up and left her bag there, kind of like as a, hey, if I throw next to this, at least I assume that's what she was doing.
A guide.
Yeah, if I throw next to this, then I'll be in a good spot. So she pitched out there. You, as a competitor, can't go and place a mark there for you to throw at. You can you can walk out, find your spot, and see, here's a stick here. I want to throw at that, but you can't place something there to throw at. So she ended up getting a two throw penalty for it. That one doesn't come up very often. I guess that's why people call it obscure, but it's a good one to know. Mm-hmm. If you have to pitch out, don't go you go check out the landing zone, see where you want to land, but don't go mark it and say this is where I want to throw. Don't go mark it with a stick or your bag or something like that.
And I feel like, didn't they even the commentators had said that that's smart of her to do that.
One of the commentators did say that, yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
It in fact was not smart.
No.
This one's from Alan. Hey, DeGam fam. First, you guys are all great. No, Alan, you're great. Thanks for helping the average Joe like me get better at disc golf. Well, this is more than just for Joe, so that's what's cool. I'm just teasing. You guys make it fun to learn how to improve my game. My question, I spend a lot of time doing field work, maybe more than the actual match play. Okay. Because of one of your recent podcasts, I switched my focus to working on the small things each session instead of trying to fix my entire game every time. When I go out and practice in a field, it takes me a good 10-plus throws to get my body loosened up. Mm-hmm. What and how do you take that same energy to match so my first throw off the tee feels like my last in regards to my body being warmed up and loose? I'm finding my drives with all I have are around 200-ish with a putter at the start. Towards the end of a practice session, I can throw a putter 250 and 910 speed driver 350. Thanks for advice. You guys are the best. My advice would be something that I remember Mr. Muncie said in Disc Golf Strong, is that he says a lot of times that's what happens is people, they wonder why they say, oh, I'm on the 7th hole and now I'm warmed up. It's because you should have warmed up before even throwing. The throwing is not your warm up when it concerns your body and your muscles and your tendons and your joints. So figure out a routine. You can do that easily by going to Disc Golf Strong on Facebook. He has all kinds of stretch routines, warm-up routines to do before you get out there and you actually start throwing. And you'll find that your first, second, third throws are much better once you've warmed your body up and got your body ready to go. I mean, it's like walking into the gym and slapping all the weights on a barbell and just going full on with a bench press. No, you've got to warm your body up. You got to get your muscles ready for that motion.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nah.
The people that for the people that say it takes me until hole 7 to warm up, especially if it's before a tournament, then play 7 holes before the round starts.
2-on-1.
Great, do it.
In a tournament.
2-on-1.
Good advice.
I'm just going to take another practice, guys. Is that cool with everybody?
This one doesn't count. All right, guys.
As long as you say it, right?
Yeah. So you got to say it beforehand, though. No, I definitely recommend finding a field before you start playing, especially a tournament round. You know, you want to make sure that you've getting your reps in and you're warm and you're not just hurting on that first mash. So absolutely, I would say Disc Golf Strong is a great way to go.
Yes.
All right, Kenny wants help with a fieldwork plan. Bobby, thank you for reading my question about Johnny McRae's distance at his age and build last week. Your response really hit home with me. I have been mentally accepting limitations that I should at least challenge before accepting them as fact. I recently started listening to your guys' show and it has been making me think a lot more about trying to improve and to get out and play some tournaments. I watched some of Danny's YouTube videos on form and it immediately wielded positive results with extra distance and accuracy.
Nice.
I took a video of my drive and am working on refining my form. I hear you guys talk about fieldwork, but I'm not exactly positive what all that encompasses. Are you just throwing for distance, or is there a series of challenges/goals you are cycling through? Despite Roberts, I'm built like Macbeth with a sexy head of hair and can't throw as far as him. So except you can't throw 450 like Johnny. I'm giving this my best shot. Team Bobby for life.
Did you add that last
Sorry
part?
about that, Robert. Team Bobby.
I don't mean to say that. Okay, whatever. I don't really want to clarify it. I hope that you can learn to throw as far as you can. That's awesome. That would be great.
Right.
But we don't have to get into it. So as far as field work goes, I think that you are better served having some sort of goal when you go out to throw in the field. Whether you are practicing your footwork and you say, I specifically want to work on my footwork and make sure that it's the same every time, or that it is the same speed every time. If you are working on your reach back or getting into the power pocket, whatever it is, I think that you always need to have a goal when you go out to practice in a field. I also like having a target to throw to after a while. So I'll put something out at 300 feet and just try and land every disc as close to that as I can, just to work on my speed control. You know, to be able to throw a 13 speed 300 feet and a putter 300-ish feet, that's a huge skill to have, because that opens up a whole lot of different shot shapes that you can throw and shot speeds that you can throw for a given situation. I also like to throw, if I'm near a basket, I'll do field work where I get as far away as I think I need to, throw shots to that basket and go putt from there. Then maybe throw forehands away, then throw approaches back and putt from there. There are a lot of different things that you can do, but I don't think just going and throwing as hard as you can for half an hour is necessarily going to benefit you in the best way.
This is probably answering the same way, but I'm using an example of what I found interesting when I'm out taking photos and do video while our team practices. Is that it may seem like they're out just throwing different shots here and there, but they are practicing with an intent, which is figuring out how their discs are, how they're playing, and throwing different lines. And so it's like practicing with a purpose, like you said, with a goal, with intent.
Yeah. To me, though, that's different if they're practicing on the course as opposed to
for
field.
sure.
So one thing I'd recommend is if you have the ability to find a football field with hash marks and yard lines, that's absolutely the best place to go practice, in my opinion, just because you can really find out how far you're throwing each disc. For me, when I did a lot of my field work, it was never about throwing as hard as I can or seeing how far I could throw. It was more about learning the discs that are in my bag and seeing exactly what they do in an open field. And knowing, okay, well, this EMAC's going to turn to the right a little bit more and hold over a little bit longer. So I know when I'm in a game time scenario, that's the one I want to reach for. So for me, when I'm doing field work, it's more of figuring out what the discs are doing as opposed to working on anything in particular.
So we recently had a really cool challenge in the Dynamic Disc Squad. The squad, of course, is your way to, if you're somebody that likes to post a lot of things on social media about disc golf, and if you post a lot of stuff, a lot of content about our stuff, why not get paid for it? And you can do that by joining the Dynamic Disc Squad. But to give them an idea, Robert, what's like some of the latest big challenges going on?
So one of the most recent ones, we asked people to help us name some discs that we're thinking about for next year. We've got I'd say a pretty set in stone naming scheme, and we've thought of a lot of ideas, but it'd be nice just to have some more. And so we put that out to the squad. If you submitted a response, then you receive some points for that. We've also had people, put stuff on their Facebook and Instagram. You can say which team putter you're on, if you're on Team Warden, Team Judge, Team Harp, whatever it is. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. And if you can't do all of them, it's no big deal. But the ones that you can do, I mean, the rewards will get you free stuff. You get discounts on retail store orders. Once you level up some more, you can get a free Dymax disc. There's a lot of things that you can do, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. One that I'm working on with Robert that I'm excited about just because it's up my alley is video review. So we're going to put some more information about that. So if you're one that's been thinking about putting together video reviews of our products, get your camera, get your phone ready, get your stuff ready, because we're going to have that out there, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool seeing what people create. Find out more at dynamicdisc.com/squad.
Yep, you got it.
Next one comes from Jordan. I love the Lucid Vandal. Now that it is in full production, how long would you expect before we start seeing it in Biofusion and Fusion?
Can you say that again, please? The Vandal?
I love the Lucid Vandal now that it is in full production.
Yeah.
How long would we expect to see it in Bio and Fusion?
It's hard to say for sure. There's a whole lot of things being produced right now. In fact, more even than we can keep up with. And so newer molds like the Vandal are probably not going to come out in new plastics because we've got a need right now to restock a whole bunch of stuff that's just like staples for you guys, classic Judges, Lucid and Fusion Raiders, that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. As far as a release date for those, I'm not sure just yet, to be honest with you.
For some reason, I thought we had some Fusion Vandals.
Was it a TFR maybe? Or
maybe so.
It could have been a TFR. For some reason, I thought we had stock stamp ones at some point, but maybe not. And yeah, like you said, basically what Robert said. I thought we had some of them, but maybe we didn't.
Nah, because as soon as we come out with them, I'm grabbing me a Fusion Vandal for sure. Scott Reek had Fusion Vandals on a custom
probably
run
what it
program.
was.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah,
I was
so
thinking.
custom run program is, I believe the minimum is 1,000. So if there's something, a mold or a plastic, you can definitely.
And we're not doing that right now, just so you know.
And we're not doing that right now. So just
Until
ignore
we
what
can
I
get
just
caught
said.
back up
Right,
with
right.
everything. But
Yeah. So, disc golf is seeing a huge spike in its growth, which is one part is amazing and awesome. The other part is challenging because trying to keep up with that unexpected growth. So, but we're always working on something. You also want to know any updates on that mystery 7.9-speed stable driver that we had mentioned. We always tell you what we can tell you, and that's all we can tell you.
Weiss can tell you.
Yep, we. That's collectively us.
Good. Nice.
Gavin wants to know about throwing high. I'm 13. My max distance is 350. I can throw 12 speed, but it always comes out high but flat. Do you know how to correct that?
high but flat.
That's an interesting combo.
Yeah. Trying to visualize how that's, unless he's just throwing the disc up higher than he should be. But if it's coming out high, there's probably slim chance that it's actually coming out flat, right?
Yeah.
It would make, in my mind, that's what I picture that it.
Yeah, Gavin, probably the best thing you can do is just submit a video to Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook page so that we can take a look. That's probably the best way that we can help you, because high and flat shots are pretty rare, especially if they're only going 350 feet. I mean, if you look at somebody like Double G, he can get the disc, nose down and very high in the air, but he's also throwing it 600, 700 feet. Yeah, put a video on there. I think that'll help us.
Yeah, please.
All right, get ready to tap away for some rules clarification if you need to do some searching.
Okay,
on
sounds
PDJ.
good.
You ready?
Thanks.
Can you kneel on a face-down disc to protect your knee when throwing? Ask Kelly C. There seems to be no clear ruling out there on the net, the cybers, the interwebs, and the rule that is sometimes quoted seems unclear. Asked a lot of rules officials, gotten a variety of answers.
Sweet.
Did I stall enough?
Give
No,
me just a second.
I didn't stall enough.
No, so I remember that if you kneel on something, it needs to compress below. I believe it's a centimeter of detectable thickness. But let me double check.
If you play a lot of courses that's necessary. There is products out there. There are products out there that I can't remember the name. SoFly, I think, is one that makes it, and it's basically just a knee pad that follows the regulation, all the sizing and stuff that PDGA says it has to be and stuff like that. So, and I know there's other ones, but that's just one I'm familiar with.
As long as there's no thickness to it, I think is what it is.
or a
Is that what you
certain
said?
or a certain small amount of thickness.
Mhm.
Yeah. I always thought it was a centimeter of thickness, but I can't remember right now. Disc.
A
You
disc
mean depth?
thickness?
Disc thickness.
Disc thickness.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it compresses to a disc thickness or less, then that should be okay.
Which basically means the answer
Yeah,
is
then-
yes,
then
you
yes,
can
you
use a
could.
disc.
Yeah.
Now, I know that to be legal because people do it all the time and nobody
Sure.
gets called on it, but I just don't remember the thickness right now, and I'm having trouble finding it.
A lot of times people also use the towel that they brought with them. But if you don't have any of those, then yes,
I just use my knee.
a disc.
Dang.
You just use your knee to
You're so
kneel
strong.
on your knee.
Kneel.
You use your other knee? You kneel on your other knee? Oh, that's impossible. Next one comes from, Someone's impersonating you, Danny. Or you have a really interesting question.
Nice, can't wait.
This one's from Danny Big Flicks.
Oh.
Hello, I throw what?
I throw what?
Okay, so this is silly.
Okay, skip it.
Yes. It's either Danny being silly or somebody else trying to be silly. Next one is from Nick on the call. I used to listen to the On the Call podcast that Robbie did on iHeartRadio, but have not been able to figure out how to listen to it anymore. I really want to hear the interview with Nico after his win. I'm not sure why iHeart would quit putting those out there, but we push it out the same distribution that platform that we have always used. So, but I will definitely take a look to see if maybe there are connection issues with that. Next one is from Greg. Hole 3 at our local course in Auburn, California is between 165 and 271 feet, depending on the basket placement. but the first 150 feet goes uphill by about 25 to 30 feet in elevation.
Okay.
Then it's flat and tree covered beyond that. What tips can you give for throwing a disc uphill? I always seem to bounce it off the hill and rarely get it over the edge of the rise. By the way, I'm a new player with about 4 months of experience.
Okay. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. So the hole is between, I remember you said 250-ish at the...
165 to 271, and 271.
Okay. So I tried to think about throwing uphill with as understable of a disc as I can handle throwing. Because when you throw uphill, the disc is going to act... It feels like it should, turn and burn more, but when you throw an understable disc uphill on hyzer, it generally is going to turn up and fly straighter than it normally would just on flat ground, right? Instead of turning and burning. So I like to throw understable discs on hyzer up that hill as much as I can, try to match the plane of the hill instead of just throwing flat at it. The only other way that I would work on a shot like this is to absolutely overpower it with like a very tall anhyzer and act like I'm trying to throw it 300 or 350 feet. Yeah, just on a huge anhyzer. That's probably not where you're at. So I would take your understable disc and try and throw it up that hill. That's going to give you a better shot at making it than just like a normal 250-foot disc. You need to play the shot. If it's that much uphill, you need to play it like it's more like a 300-foot shot, something like that.
It's no different than throwing that same disc on level ground. What do you typically do when you're throwing on level ground with an understable disc? You give it height.
Right.
So it's very similar to that.
Definitely have to do that.
Up slope, so you want to make sure you give it the height that it needs. But absolutely, that's what I do as well. Is typically I'll throw my most understable disc if it's that extreme of a slope.
Correct. I like.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of the Disc Golf Fantasy. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Make sure you go to iTunes and rate and review our show. We love getting those 5 stars. Also, be sure to join our community. Text me at 620-312-3225. I send out little motivational quotes. I'll send out little pictures of behind-the-scenes stuff. We'll get some advice from some of our team and send those out sometimes. So if you just want a different way for us to connect, make sure you join us on the community. 620-312-3225.
312-3225.
What did I say?
You said 31-3225. 620-312.
3225.
Yep.
Right.
And if you haven't joined the squad, go ahead and do that. dynamicdisc.com/squad. Thanks.
All right, stay tuned for Hot Takes YouTube.
Do you want me to put the thing up? You can see what's about the bathroom or anything?
I'm okay for now.
Roll out.
Roll with it.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I was talking to your dad, Eric, when we were playing disc golf, and we were just talking about different things we've been doing. I told him I picked up pickleball, and he was like, "Oh yeah." Back in when I can't remember what he said, because I used to watch this one guy was just so into pickleball, Jan Jeffries, and I was like, I
Dude,
play with Jan Jeffries
is the
right now,
man, dude.
and he was like, he was pretty good. And I was like, oh, he schools
still
us
pretty good.
for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
So,
he's been a friend of the family for many, many, many years.
yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yep. Him and his wife Janet.
Yeah, Janet.
I went to high school, and actually went to grade school with one of Janet's sons.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, all through school.
Cool. All right, so we're good to just go.
Yeah, just let me know so I can record it.
Nah.
Yeah. Good.
Nah.
Good luck on hot take time, everybody.
It's yours, right?
I can't. I'm.
Are you sure you have
is
it worded
Anthony?
right?
I'm not sure I have it ordered right, but we're gonna get there.
Apparently he wants Anthony's input, so get your Mikey.
Get your Mikey.
Get your Mikey.
Get your Mikey ready. Am I still muted?
No, you're good now.
Okay. You ready?
We're recording.
You recording?
Oh, I'm ready.
Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes, where the takes are so hot, you're playing a round of hot potato. Jeez.
That was
That
that
was
was worse than most of them.
That was worse than just fumbling through saying Disc Golf Hot Takes. All right, so Hot Takes is where we come up with a scenario and we just argue about it. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
So this week we have Robert McCall anxiously waiting to debate his hot take. Robert, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Okay. The hot take that I'm going to bring forward, I want to hear from each of you.
That's what we're here for.
Just a number.
Oh.
That's all.
4.
That's all. See, that's actually probably a
5.
good-
No, see, 5 is better. Oh.
No, yours is a bad number. That was pretty good. No.
All right.
I think there's a lot of reasonable answers here, but this is what I want us to debate. I think that I could take any top pro's bag and dismantle their game by removing 3 molds from their bag.
Oh.
So I say, Eric, you can well, you're not touring as much anymore, but we know your bag pretty well. Eric, you can no longer throw the EMAC Truth. Yep.
Yeah, he's out.
Right.
Professional fisherman, here he comes.
The EMAC Truth, the Felon, or the, I don't know, Raider.
So the mold entirely, not just.
Yeah,
this
not
EMAC.
individual
So 3,
discs.
that's good because I carry like 5 Emacs.
No.
Still good.
I'm saying molds.
Okay.
So let's do Paul Macbeth as an
feel
example.
like name that tune.
yeah.
I can dismantle that player.
See, it's exactly what it is. But it's exactly what it is. So, all right, let's take a look at Paul Macbeth's bag. Paul is the best player in the world right now. He switched over to Discraft, proving that like he can learn new discs. But if you take the force and the zone and the buzz out of his bag, I think he'd have a really tough time competing at the top level consistently.
Define tough.
I think that he would have to force other discs to do what he would love for those.
Right,
discs.
but let's say like Paul Macbeth. I mean,
I think it would be enough for him to lose more spots
Okay.
than just like a normal time. I think it would be enough for him to lose a stroke or 2 around.
Wow.
How many molds do you think you'd need to remove to totally dismantle a player's game?
You think it is as little as 3? Is that what you get? Is that what your point
I
is?
think 3. I think 3 is as low as it can go, but I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say about
It's
it.
going to change by the player because Philo throws 3 molds.
Well, yeah,
He now is out of the game.
He can't
completely.
play.
you're welcome. Stay home. No, that's not true because he throws destroyers, T-birds, rocks, and AVRs. So he gets to keep one of those.
Good luck, Philo.
I almost feel like it could be less than that
Okay, I'm ready.
because if
Let's
you just
talk about it.
if you just take away some, and kind of like you had mentioned, it's going to vary from player to player probably, but majority of the players, you take away their putters,
Yeah.
a particular putting mold that they use. Like I'm taking your Warden right now, obviously, right?
Okay,
That's what we're taking
good
from him.
friggin'
His
luck.
Warden.
Yes.
He's going to have to put judges.
Pry him out of my cold
and
dead
how's that
hands.
going to work for you?
Poorly, because I've done it before.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Like, I think you could take less molds if you're taking a putter away because, I mean, unless you're me, who's a chameleon to putters.
That's
in the
why
game.
I didn't take away your putter.
I could putt with
don't have
anything.
one.
I've
That's why
proved
he's
it.
done it. He anticipated this challenge.
But most players, you take away that staple putter in their bag, and they are going to struggle at least probably 2-3 strokes around. I would say
Yeah,
maybe more.
right. What do you fellas think?
I'm confused here.
All right, I'm ready.
Because
Let's talk.
are we trying to, like you said, Paul's going to lose a stroke or 2 around?
Yeah.
Are we trying to lose a stroke or 2 around, or are we trying to dismantle them? Are we trying to turn Paul Macbeth into 1,000 rated player?
I thought you were going to name drop somebody.
I know.
Waiting for it.
Oh my god.
No,
Are
if
we
we're
trying to
talking,
turn Paul Macbeth into, I don't know, Robert McCall?
Oh, Bird.
we'll just pull a name out of
Pick a
thin
1,000
air.
rated guy.
Someone who really sucks. Let's say Robert. Okay, so I say dismantle in that if Paul lost 2 shots around, right? He goes from being 10. What is he right now? 1060 something still, or did he go down? Let's say he's still 1062 or whatever
Sure.
it was. If all of a sudden he goes from averaging 1062 to averaging 1042, I would call that dismantling somebody. Like if you're
But
losing,
he's still, if Paul drops and starts shooting 1040 averages, he's still top 3. He's still
Right.
competing.
finishing in the podium
Yes.
every time. So
Yes,
that's not
but-
dismantling.
see, but I disagree. In Paul's mind, it is.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk Ricky Wysocki. Ricky's a
Rick.
Oh, what up, Rick?
I'd take his harp away.
Saying.
Dude,
Oh wait,
For a minute, he struggled to find a disc to fill that spot, right? Okay, anyway, let's talk Ricky Wysocki. Ricky is, if he's not 1050 rated, he's about that. Sure. You take 3 molds out of his bag, in my opinion, and you drop him to 1030. That's now Ricky is not an elite player anymore. He's one of those guys that can maybe contend sometimes.
Okay, but do we think? See, I think this is a temporary dismantling.
Okay. Tell me why.
Okay, we're using Paul and Ricky as examples.
Sure,
They've
great.
both completely switched bags, completely new molds, new plastics, new everything.
Sure.
Paul is still the best. Ricky's what? You want to put him at third behind Eagle?
Yeah, maybe.
So Paul hasn't been dismantled, and he's switched completely manufacturers. Not 3 discs, completely different manufacturers.
Okay.
So I think, okay, fine. You could say, I'll take 5 molds out of your bag, and Paul Macbeth will struggle this year. But next year, he'll have found something. He'll have taken a wasp and beat it up enough to now fly like a bunch.
Right.
I think that's an overstable mid.
That's kind of the lines that I was thinking. It was even more qualifications. Are we talking dismantle one round or one tournament? Or are we talking dismantle his game? Because I would imagine, as well as these players are, they're going to do what you said. They're going to adjust. They're going to figure out how to
find
make
something else
do what they needed to do.
Okay.
I would say let's for the sake of argument.
I want to
let's
hear a
say-
number.
Let's
How
say
many
tournament? Let's just say tournament as opposed
Is
to
it a tournament?
career or life.
Sure.
Or
I'm
even
gonna say- I'm gonna
like
have to say 5.
season. Even season would work.
Yeah, I think 3 is I think 3 you would notice.
Yeah.
Right? If you take 2 discs out, they'll find something else they can compensate with whatever's in their bag. But I think 3 is the minimum where like, okay, something's off with Paul this event. Something's off with Ricky or Eagle or whoever. I think 3 is the minimum.
Okay.
I think 4 or 5 would be a, quote, dismantling.
That'll be the dismantling.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, 4 or 5. That's a lot of
Most
people
players get
lean
what?
on
Okay,
4
let's
or 5.
talk about
molds.
this. Let's talk about this for a second. You're telling me that somebody who's rated 1062 all of a sudden starts shooting 2 shots worse per round and drops 20 rating points. People wouldn't be like, "Oh, that they've dismantled their game."
Okay, well, it's
I'm sorry. I'm telling
absolutely
you, losing
happens,
2
yeah.
strokes a round.
I mean, Paul finishes second and he's washed up.
and he's
I'm just saying. It's that's a
That is
bigger
true.
impact
That
than
is
you
a
guys
good
think.
point. 2 strokes around is definitely.
I don't think it's a guarantee.
No, okay. Think
It's
about
a
the
lot.
difference between a 1,000 rated
It's a
player
lot.
and a 1020 rated player. That's a huge difference.
For sure.
I lose to a 1020 rated player probably 9 times out of 10,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. Think even more so about the difference between a 1062 rated player and a 1042 rated player. That's a massive, massive, massive difference. I'm just
Exactly.
saying
That's a massive, massive difference.
That sounds like
There's-
dismantling to me. At least, I mean, it's not like forever. That makes it sound like it's
sure.
permanent.
I think you're also not giving enough credit to Paul being the 1060 rated player. He's not using 1060 rated discs. He's a 1060 rated player. I think if you take the buzz out of his bag, he'll, I don't know what a slightly more understatement, he'll hyzer flip a comet instead of throw that flat. Like he's still going to have a straight mid in his bag. He won't have.
He'd probably throw the EMAC Buzz SS. would be
Yeah,
my
he'll just go
guess.
back.
Probably true.
Yeah, I think that the 1060 rated player is. You can take molds out and you'll notice a difference, but I think there's still that player. Just slightly.
So how many
slightly-
discs is the question?
Yeah. How many?
I think 3 is noticeable. I think 4 or 5 would quote dismantle. I think if you take 4 or 5 molds out of Paul's bag, he doesn't podium. If you take 3, I think he still finishes on the podium.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's
me
see
neither.
if Paul will just do this at.
Yeah.
Hey,
should
just
we-
call
yeah.
Paul. Hey,
Green
Paul,
Mountain
we got an
Research,
experiment.
right?
Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
listen, I know that you got your name like on all these discs and stuff.
I know USDGC is coming around the corner.
Hey, look.
Not
but
this weekend. You don't.
Look, don't throw him for a second. Okay? Just think about it. For the sake
it's for science.
for the
Here's
sake of
interesting.
argument.
50 Stitches Steel says Paul would absolutely just make a disc do what it needs to do. I
thought
think
you
that's a
were-
little too broad of
yeah,
a
I don't know about
statement.
that. I thought you were just going to say he would just make a disc, which is probably accurate too.
Fine, I can't throw.
I
the
think
buzz.
that's a little
Here's
too
the-
broad of a statement
the
that he
fudge.
could. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not going to take a.
Sure. Guess what? Paul can do that, but it's going to take him time to do that.
Right.
It's not something he could just pick up a disc and be like, all right, by the end of halfway through this round, I'm going to know exactly how this disc is supposed to fly.
I'm going to change my answer to one disc because I'm going to take that one disc and hit him in the head. And
dang.
yeah,
Nice. Please don't do that.
So yeah,
The Disc Golf Answer Man
You
and
have
Disc Golf
been
Audio
dis-
do not condone the use of violence.
you have been dismantled.
Okay. Can we talk for real for a second?
Sure.
The reason I bring this up is that I think people are stuck on the fact that a disc makes a player, like that there are single perfect discs for themselves, and that no other disc can fit that. And I think that, I mean, the top pros can do it because they're very talented, but just because you don't have the exact same skill set as a pro doesn't mean that you can't use discs that fit your game better to adapt and improve. There's so many people who think, hey, if I don't throw a T-bird, I will be terrible. But what if instead you threw a Explorer? What if instead you threw a Tracker? What if you threw Jordan Castro throws an MVP disc that's very T-bird like.
Nah.
I just hear people nitpick about this disc is the perfect disc for this. No, not a chance. I think there are discs that can be used by everybody for them to succeed.
Yeah.
So anyway, but while I was on that train of thought, I was like, well, I wonder how many it would take to really mess somebody up. I think 3 is a noticeable difference. I'm getting a little a flack here for the use of dismantling and saying 2 strokes around isn't dismantling, but like that's a huge
At a
difference
top level, I think it is.
Yeah, that's a huge difference in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, how you figure a tournament's 3 or 4 rounds? How often does Paul win by 6 or 8
Sure.
strokes?
Yeah, that's
Or-
a fair question.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about it.
We
But
good?
That's how my train of thought started. But then I was like, well, what would we really have to do to like honestly mess somebody up? And now we know.
There we go.
That we'll never know.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for our disc golf hot take and joining in on the fun. We'll see you on the next episode.